Oh, it's time. Time to get radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Radical Comment of the Week for October 4th through October 10th, 2021. These are the very best comments from that time period, starting out with the honorable mentions. We got Team Spirits, Jeff Brister, and the Winged Avenger. The bronze medal is going to come to us from Rusty Shackleford. Honestly, have to say that this reveal trailer was an absolute masterpiece because of how well executed it was. Even though I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan, I wasn't interested in Sora being included in Super Smash Bros., simply because I would have preferred the final character to have been a Nintendo representative, even though I do believe Sora is a perfect fit for the game. But after watching the reveal trailer, I have to admit that I'm super excited to play as him now. In regards to the price tag, it's just a matter of perspective, honestly. Compared to previous fighting games I've played, where the character alone would just cost $5, $6 for a character, stage, soundtrack, and character artwork, Spirits seems more of a steal. On the other side of it, the base game of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was just $60, which include over 70 characters, over 100 stages, over 800 songs, several game modes, etc. Purchasing Fighter Pass 1 and 2 cost $55, which includes just 11 characters, 11 stages, just under 100 songs, I think, and that's pretty much it. Compare the base game to the DLC, and it seems like you are getting robbed, but it's just a matter of perspective, and there are a lot of ways you can look at this as well, and compare to other fighting games. So I wouldn't hold it against someone if they feel the DLC was worthless. Personally, I'm fine with it since the Super Smash Bros. Series is a series where I can easily play one game until the next installment. Also, I have found myself playing with some of the DLC characters like Joker, Pyra Mytha, Sephiroth, and Min and more than some of the base characters, so I think that hefty fee is a bit worth. But I'm definitely excited for Sora and look forward to playing as him even though he wasn't my most requested character. Yeah, I've heard that from some people, not thinking that it would be Sora, but I think it's a good fit into the Super Smash Bros. Game. I think it's a good fit. A lot better than some of the other characters I've looked at, where I'm like, okay, there's a lot of variety, but does that character really make a lot of sense in the universe? It's a fun type of game. And you talked about how the base game, came with a lot of characters. That is true. And I think if anything, the DLC, it seems kind of a ripoff just compared to the base game, you know? So it's an instance to where you actually have a game that, and the irony is we just talked about how Nintendo can overcharge. In this instance, actually, when it comes to Super Smash Bros., the base game, you know, they kind of over-delivered, I would say. They over-delivered. And when it comes to it being a perfect trailer, yeah, I think that was a perfect trailer. I think it got people hyped, but I think it fit the character reveal, you know? I think it just really perfectly fit, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you, Rusty. Moving on to the silver medal, we got the Winged Avenger. James Rolfe says Cinemassacre is his job. Okay, let's entertain that for a moment, the notion that YouTube is a real job. When James says he doesn't have the time, he's essentially telling his boss that he doesn't have time for his job. Oh, come on, boss. I have a wife and kids. I can't be bothered to work. This is often a contradiction I see in YouTubers. They consider YouTube a job as long as all the focus is on them getting paid. But when the discussion turns to them taking on the responsibilities of a real job, they immediately close their ears and shut down any possible conversation, usually by banning critics. Cinemassacre at least gives us a non-answer, but I have kids! Because of course James Rolfe is the only man on earth who has kids, but most channels just don't address the issue at all. The YouTubers want all the benefits of a job, but want almost none of the responsibilities that a job entails. That's the thought process of a child. The format of Cinemassacre nowadays seems to be 2 videos per week. One is the podcast and the other alternates between AVGN and anything else. I don't see how this is much work, despite James' explanation. The podcast is just three guys sitting there for an hour having a talk. AVGN is about 15 minutes long, and mostly gameplay and James sitting on the couch talking. I've edited videos before, and I estimate that it takes about 4 hours to edit an episode of AVGN. So, since YouTube is a job, James could go into the office at 9 on a Monday morning, capture footage of himself playing a bad video game for 2 hours, and write the outline for an AVGN episode before lunch. He could write the full script after lunch and be home in time for dinner. Oh wait, he makes the videos at home, so that saves time. On Tuesday morning, he could shoot the AVGN episode before lunch and edit it after lunch. On Wednesday, he could shoot one of the random videos in the morning and do the podcast in the afternoon. That's 3 days. Thursday could be all about playing video games and to find future AVGN fodder and watching horror movies for next year's Monster Madness. Friday could be for any other things that needs to be done, such as making the Monster Madness videos, which isn't much, as Monster Madness is only an October show. I didn't factor in any help from the ScreenWeb guys. But if you add them into the AVGN process, everything should be much faster. With the way his channel is set up, the guy's probably working 3 days a week max. To sum up, when James says he doesn't have the time, it really means that he doesn't care about what his viewers think. As long as the ScreenWave guys keep giving him a salary, he'll keep spending the least time possible on Cinemassacre. We talk about the time it takes, right, and the process. Now, there's people that jump back and forth and talk about the process of how long an AVGN episode can take. There's no clear, concrete figure on that. But when it comes to the podcast, I've seen the podcast, I've seen them sitting around, I've seen the cringe factor. The cringe, as Jeff told me, and I saw one of his comments, when they were talking about the Milky Way, and I was just looking at those three going, okay, none of this was rehearsed. Like, absolutely none of it. They're all just in a circle just talking. And it wasn't even good talking. Like, it wasn't good commentary. Especially that Kieran guy. You know, I don't get his appeal. I don't understand that. So, yeah, a lot of the stuff that they're kind of shoveling on that, on Cinemassacre now, they brought back the reading fan letters. That doesn't take any time. I mean, because most of it was just James just laughing. That's all it was. You know, it wasn't any interesting replies to that. I would have had some interesting replies to that, as I do on Radical Rapid Fire Comment Response. The irony here is, you know, if you take away the AVGN, I don't really do anything like the AVGN episodes, but the irony here is, I'm a person that actually, I work over 40 hours a week, and I have some, you know, side hustles, the Winged Avenger. So the irony here is when it comes to commentary, I'm not talking about the AVGN episodes. Everyone go crazy saying Radical Rick says he's better than Cinemassacre. No. But when it comes to the commentary, when it comes to the replying to things, I am better than James Rolfe. And yet, he's the guy that says that that's his job. That's his job. And I love it when you said that they want all the benefits of the job, but none of the actual responsibilities. Thank you, Winged Avenger. And the shiny gold medal comes to us from Blaze Panzer, a YouTuber. Like any other kind of content creator, should be happy with enjoying the hobby of content creation and the ability to share it with potentially thousands, if not upwards of millions of people for free. If you think about it, how many people could even make and upload videos to the net in the 90s? How many people could make a cover of a song and have hundreds of thousands of people enjoying it in the 80s? Or how about having tens of thousands of people read a fanfic in the 70s? What about the sharing of fan art in that time period? Not easy to do in the past, but now you can drop it onto an art sharing site and it'll have the potential to be seen by thousands of fans. Now imagine having to reproduce thousands of copies of that fan art, or even hundreds of copies for the fans who wanted a copy of their own. Nowadays, if you like a work of art, you can just download an image and have a digital copy in under a second. My point is that the modern internet has given us the ability to share our talents all across the world. We can post our fan art, music covers, fan fiction, and YouTube uploads all over the internet for people to enjoy. It's already double dipping into the dopamine factory, if you will. First, you have the enjoyment of creating the work, and then the satisfaction of seeing hundreds to thousands, if not the occasional millions of people enjoy the work. Is it then right for content creators to triple dip and beg for cash as well? I mean, sure. Ad revenue makes sense. Not only does it help the company who creates the ad, but also helps to keep YouTube afloat. Artists can accept commissions. Some are quite reasonable, and some are the Apple corporations of the artist commission community, but still, they are providing a product. Cover artists can obtain the required copyright license for their music covers and sell them on iTunes and the like. Fanfic writers are kind of out of luck, but they can use fanfiction to improve on their writing skills and concepts until they are ready to write and publish their own original work. But asking for $5 a month is kind of a big ask on its own. $50 a month, or even on its own, is not justifiable for hobby work, and usually YouTubers have a join button, sponsorships, and a donation link on top of ad monetization. I can understand an artist wanting $10 for high quality drawing, or a music artist wanting to sell his or her covers on iTunes, but YouTube e-beggars take the earning cash for hobbies to the next level. Yes, taking it to the next level, taking e-begging to the next level. There are arguments people will often make about what constitutes something that is a product. Like, what is a product? Let's say you want someone and you commission them to draw a picture of you, for instance. You have a picture, you send it to them, and you say, like, listen, I would like your artist rendering of this. You know, or you have a picture of your mother, your father, maybe, you know, your late pet. You say, listen, I want you to draw this for me, and I will pay you a amount of money to do that. There are all kind of instances like that where people will actually create that, or, you know, someone gives them an outline of a song and they say, I want a techno remix of this. I want it made like this. You know, so there's all these situations to where we have, you know, exchanges going back and forth. But when you say that YouTubers take that to the next level, e-beggars take that to the next level, I am talking about YouTubers that just pretty much flap their gums about video games, about wrestling, about movies. They just get on here, upload a couple times a week, maybe they show off their video games, and then on top of, like you said, the amazingness of getting to actually share their art, or in many cases just them, you know, basically just dicking around, flapping their gums about video games. But in some cases, you know, their art. There's art out there. Literally, there's artists on YouTube sharing their actual art for people in their videos, right? On top of getting to share your art with the world, you know, on top of that, not having to pay to share that. So you talk about the internet also, the amazingness of the internet right now, where you can just upload something anywhere and it has a potential to be seen by tens of thousands or millions of people, you know, in seconds, in minutes, you know. Or you talk about downloading an image and having an image, oh, I want a background for my phone. Oh, a Deadpool background. Boom, downloaded. Right, it's on my phone. The convenience of the internet. So talk about triple dipping and the e-beggars. The convenience of having everything for them. And then on top of that, this is what I can understand, is the triple dipping on top of that, on top of getting to share themselves with the world. They want donations.